Wow, today is an amazing day. I have one of the most powerful, not one of, two of the most powerful house in the crypto industry, in Web3, crypto. I mean, everything crypto, Web3, NFT. These guys are endowed with knowledge that I want them to share with us today. And they are not just here to tell you that they have been in crypto for a long time or they understand crypto, but it's more of to have a conversation so that anyone out there or everyone out there can understand what is going on in this industry and how they can be part of. Guys, this industry is brutal and so big, and it might take a long time for you to understand. But with people who have had experience in this industry, I believe if say you listen to them, what they have to say in terms of what is going on in the industry, then I believe you are going to, enjoy, being part of the industry. We're going to discuss a lot of stuff today, from Web3, the crypto space. We're going to talk about, you know, how you can onboard crypto, what is going on in the market, different stuff going on. So let me bring these guys here so we can get started. We don't have much. I don't have much time yet to, to keep speaking. Yeah, I have Anton Golub. As you can see, he's the chairman and founder of Swiss Asset DAO, and we have Adil Ashfaq. I don't know if say I pronounce it well. He's a
Yeah,
Web3
you pronounce
researcher
it
and
right.
content strategist. I think they are all based in Dubai, the hub of crypto or the hub of blockchain. Guys, you're welcome on today's podcast.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for having us.
Today is just gonna
Awesome.
be
Likewise.
discussion, we're gonna like penetrate everything crypto, Web3, so that a layman out there will understand what this industry is all about, what this technology is all about, and how they can onboard, be part of this amazing old technology which is out there. So let me begin with Anton. I know I've talked about you guys being like OGs in the industry, but I think you want to, you know, say something like about you. Maybe someone want to understand who you are and where you are, what you do in the industry.
Awesome. So first, thank you very much for having me. It's really a pleasure to be on your podcast. This is really awesome, and looking forward to a great discussion. And to tell you a little bit about myself, so I'll try to be short. Originally, I worked in traditional finance. I worked at a big hedge fund here in Switzerland as a high frequency trader and had an awesome experience. I really loved it. Kind of this intersection of finance, technology, markets, quantitative trading. So really, really exciting. And kind of a turning point in my life was back in 2013. Back then, my boss at the hedge fund called me one day and he said, Anton, I'm shutting down the hedge fund. We are closing down the shop. This is all going away. And I thought, oh my God, this is a horrible start to the day. But then he said, Anton, I've been telling you about crypto, about blockchain, and what it can do to reshape the financial markets, but also society over time. And how about you and I do a startup in the crypto industry? So that was back in 2013. I co-founded the second ever crypto company in Switzerland called Likke. That it was a great experience leading it for almost co-leading it for almost 5 years. It was a massive success story back then. So from 2 people, Richard and myself, to 200 people, offices all over the world, many different verticals in the company, one of the oldest and biggest exchanges in Europe. Really, really great experience. I did an exit early 2018, and then I launched a market making company called Fluff Technologies. And usually people ask me, why a market maker? Why did you launch a market maker? Is because when you run an exchange, when you run a crypto exchange, you learn the first day how important liquidity is, or if you don't have liquidity, how difficult it is to scale. And a market maker is a company who solves that problem. Market maker provides liquidity to the markets. So for me, kind of seeing how a lot of exchanges were struggling with liquidity and a lot of tokens didn't have liquidity, for me, it was like a no-brainer business model. Big clear opportunity. So I was leading Floftech as a CEO for almost 5 years. So market making all of your top tier exchanges, I'm sure you would know of. Likewise, market making for a lot of projects, some really big, huge, famous ones, which I'm sure you would know of, but a lot of early stage ones, so kind of all shapes and sizes. It was a great experience as well, and did an exit last year in summer. And now I'm running a DAO. From all of the things that I could have done in my life, I'm running a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization called Swiss Asset DAO. And to kind of give you one sentence so the audience kind of understand what we're doing. we want to build a platform that creates a bridge between the on-chain crypto world and the traditional finance world, such that everybody who uses this platform from the DAO ecosystem, that they can invest into sustainable long-term real-world asset investment opportunities. So real-world assets are now a big hype, in the crypto industry, namely because a lot of people are searching for good investment opportunities. There's not a lot of them in the crypto world. So a year ago, BlockFi, Celsius, Gemini, Genesis, a lot of these people were promising you good yield, but we learned this was not sustainable, or it was a scam in many cases. Yeah. But so people are looking for those opportunities in the real world, and in the real world, we are lucky that or I don't know if you can call it lucky, but it's fortunate that the interest rates went up a lot. So today you can invest into US government bonds and get 6-7% or 5-6%. And we want to enable that the DAO ecosystem can invest in such opportunities. So this is my story, and looking forward to an awesome discussion.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Let's go to Adil. I
Hey,
love your background. I also love the one of Anton. It's like in the mountains.
yeah.
Yeah, Adil.
Hey everyone, this is Adil Ashfaq, and I am a software engineer, and I moved towards cryptos back in 2017. I started trading Ethereum, and once I started trading Ethereum, I felt like, wow, this is the future, because the freedom of payments, the freedom of not paying fee on any kind of transactions, the freedom of paying very minimal fee. So I was like, yeah, the world is facing a lot of problems, right? So I was all like thinking and researching about a lot of inflationary models and deflationary models, and I was like, yeah, gold and silver is one thing, but we surely need some kind of new finance in this world, right? So that's why I jumped up into this industry. I completed my graduation in software engineering in 2019, and I started working for crypto companies. Started with Sandbox, after that Axie Infinity, after that some NFT collections and everything. And I have also worked with some crypto startups, DAOs, and DEXs. So I am here because I believe that this is going to change everything. So if somebody is living in Argentine, if somebody is living in Lebanon, if somebody is living in Turkey, they do understand that cryptos is not just a digital currency. Crypto is not just like digital assets. Cryptos and deflationary models are their lifeline, right? So Lebanese pound actually like dumped for like 1,000% in 1 year, right? So the purchasing power of 100 Lebanese pound is around is equals to 1,000 Lebanese pound right now. So my interest has always been supply and demand, and because fiat is never like stopping in printing. Every country is trying to print as more as fiat they want to pay their loans to run their governments and everything. So if you have your savings in your currency, in your fiat, you are going to be poor at the end of the day. So that's the main reason that I am here. It's all about spreading that kind of financial freedom. It's all about thinking about deflationary models, investing about deflationary models. So I believe that this industry is going to change a lot of things. This industry, cryptocurrencies, NFTs are going to give power back to people. So yeah, it's been like more than 5 years that I'm working in this industry, and I have worked with some amazing people and got some amazing opportunities to like work with some brilliant minds in Dubai, in Europe, and in States. And yeah, I'm not going to stop anytime sooner.
Yeah, that's amazing. You guys, you have an amazing portfolio that I see. Let me just sit back and just listen, because I consider myself, let me not use the word dumb, but a novice, someone who want to always keep learning in the industry. That's why I bring people like you, because I know I'm going to learn in the process of this podcast. Now, looking at the future of Bitcoin, I know this is something that most people, or most like let me say investors who are into Bitcoin who understand. They always talk about the future of Bitcoin, and there's always something like finance, inflation, hedge against inflation, you know. Now, Anton, you have been in this industry for like so long time. Bitcoin, like I mean, you have been a Bitcoin. Should I say a Bitcoiner for a long time now? What do you think is the future of Bitcoin when it comes to transactions, when it comes to investment, when it comes to asset class? What do you think about that?
Yeah. So this is a very profound question, and I think I would start there. First, actually, start by saying that we should be incredibly proud what Bitcoin already is today. Because when I started, actually, there was a lot of skepticism, a lot of question marks around Bitcoin, in a sense of, is this something legitimate, or is this something used purely for illegitimate reasons? And to give you an example, back then, in 2013, we have now FTX that exploded a year ago. In 2013 or early 14, you had Mt. Gox bankrupting, which was the biggest exchange on the planet with 90% of the volume. So in 2014, when you were going around and telling people, about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain, the first two questions was, what is this Mt. Gox that blew up and exploded? What happened there? And what is Silk Road? Because I'm reading that, it was a marketplace where people use Bitcoin to do illegitimate things. So that was actually back then. Today, Bitcoin has clearly established itself as an asset, or even actually a clear representative of an asset class, meaning cryptocurrencies. So today you have actually institutional investors, professional investors, a lot of retail as well, who see it as a clear portfolio allocation where they can put part of their wealth with a clear goal that actually generates some wealth through that allocation. So it's become an asset class today. This is unbelievable. And it's actually perceived as a store of value, or if you want to say it, like a digital gold. This is how a lot of people perceive actually Bitcoin. So this is what we have achieved today. This is very different than what the white paper says in 2009, because if you read, or 2008, if you read the Bitcoin white paper, it says a peer-to-peer payment network, decentralized payment network. So we wanted, the Satoshi Nakamoto wanted to create a payment network, but he created an amazing decentralized store of value, which is Bitcoin. So we can be extremely proud, kind of what we have achieved so far. If you ask me what's the future of Bitcoin, there's a very short-term future that's very important for Bitcoin, and that's the approval of spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund in the US. This is a very, very clear short goal that we need to achieve for Bitcoin, because it will mean billions and billions of dollars of liquidity coming into Bitcoin, coming into the crypto industry. So extremely important part of Bitcoin's future will be actually to get that approval, which hopefully will come at some point. Now, if you ask me kind of what's a longer future, longer timeline, when you talk about future of Bitcoin, there I have to be humble. And if you asked me in 2013, Anton, what's going to be in 10 years the future of crypto, I could not tell you anything that's happening today. So we have to be humble when we give long-term predictions. But I think unexplored potential for Bitcoin is actually in the DeFi space. So all DeFi is actually happening on Ethereum and in minor capacity on Solana, Definity, Algorand, Hedera, a lot of other blockchains. Yeah, but I think on Bitcoin we're really lacking DeFi, which is quite unbelievable actually, because it's a financial asset now, clearly consider that, but we don't have a lot of DeFi on Bitcoin. So if I would have to say maybe a bit longer out, what we could excel at and grow and build is something DeFi related in the Bitcoin space. So these are my predictions that are usually very difficult to give.
Yeah, I think that's really amazing way to like describe the future of Bitcoin, what has happened before and where we are right now. And looking at the future, let's just like stay on the future of Bitcoin. Adi, I know you like what thing I'm so amazed about you is the way you put your content out there. You can take any content and transform it into something that people can see, like they can actually imagine and like visualize what you are actually trying to communicate. So for example, I saw one of your video that you took, like it wasn't only about, like it wasn't anything related to crypto or Bitcoin, but you made people look at the content as if it was a crypto content. So now, coming to the future of Bitcoin, we know businesses, entrepreneurs, small businesses, big businesses, brands out there. The Web3 space is something that I think is going to be huge, DeFi, and we know the value that Web3 is bringing into this industry. And you who is in the industry and in Web3, how will you communicate Bitcoin future to a business or an entrepreneur, to someone who maybe want to start a business? What will you say to them, to entice them to want to take this technology serious and get started or build infrastructures where they can already onboard, crypto or Web3 without even, having difficulties, along the way. So how will you approach this in your own way as a Web3 content creator?
Yeah, so luckily and gladly, there are thousands of founders out there. Some of them are amazing. They are working in the right direction, and they are trying to translate the use cases of blockchains to the industry, to the business industry, right? So, talking about BlackRock, we are now waiting for the ETF, right? But the same person, I'm talking about Larry Fink, he didn't believe in Bitcoin. And people like me, people like Anton, people like you, we actually persuaded him. We actually did it, right? So this is itself an achievement. We did it. We persuaded the largest financial institution of the world with $10 trillion of assets that Bitcoin is something you need to focus on. And right now, what they are saying that people are demanding Bitcoin in their assets. So Anton was saying that from payment method that was written in like Bitcoin white paper, we have moved towards like turning it to an asset class, that because of its deflationary model. But I'll get to that later. But first, I'm going to discuss the business perspective here. So right now there are like dozens of quality dApps. We call them dApps, right? Decentralized apps, right? They are helping different businesses. But yeah, without a doubt, people are still reluctant. Because the stuff happened with Luna. Luna was a $50 billion blockchain. They crashed. And after that, the same year, FTX happened. So people are still like afraid. And it's the human psychology. We always look towards the brighter side, the green candles, right? We always pay more attention to the green candles. I seriously believe that ETF is there, okay, but the short-term future that we should be looking towards Bitcoin is really, it should be the halving. Halving is coming next year, right? So everything started with Bitcoin. Ethereum was not there, right? Bitcoin is the base. Ethereum helped a lot in creating that kind of products, that kind of dApps, smart contracts, and everything. Ethereum is on another level. Basically, Ethereum is providing more utility to the world right now. Just like Anton said, we need more DeFi services from Bitcoin, but everything started from Bitcoin. So why trust is building and why we are looking towards Bitcoin as an asset class? Because of the algorithm. Algorithm is everything. That's why a software engineer like me is here, right? So in 2009, miners were getting 50 bitcoins per block, and in 2012 miners got 25 bitcoins per block. In 2016, with the halving event, they were getting 12.5. In 2020, they started getting 6.25, right? And on the next event, like in 2024, they will be getting 3.125, right? So that's the beauty of it. Reward is shrinking, but the cost is there. Miners need to pay their expenses, but the cost is there. So the only option, that's how Bitcoin is going to work, is that price going up, right? Trust is growing, supply is shrinking, and demand is growing. So this is a basic concept of supply and demand. So supply is shrinking and demand is growing. So talking about demand, we need to focus on countries in Africa We need to focus on countries in South of America. We need to focus on countries like Argentine, like Turkey, also Pakistan. The countries who are facing financial problems. The people, the millions of people out there, they want something that is deflationary, right? So this is the future of Bitcoin. Even without this ETF, we can grow as fast as we can. But with this ETF, as Anton said, we are talking about $10 trillion, $15 trillion institutes. Just imagine if they are going to put 2% of their money into like Bitcoin. This is going to be parabolic. So businesses are always looking towards. Oh, okay, let's talk about micro strategy. Let's not talk about like in air and everything. So micro strategy is investing its profits into Bitcoin, and their stock price is increasing every single day, every single week, every single month, because their investors believe that MicroStrategy is investing into right asset. Michael Saylor is the CEO of MicroStrategy, and Michael Saylor is very famous right now. And Michael Saylor was the biggest critique of Bitcoin back in 2013. Right now, he is the biggest follower of Bitcoin. Right, so it's just about understanding the algorithm. Why trust is growing? Because more and more people are trying to understand what Bitcoin is. More and more people want Bitcoin to like have in their asset. And to be very honest, currently Bitcoin is the most decentralized asset right now, decentralized crypto right now. Ethereum is also facing some kind of problems. Other networks are also facing some kind of problems. So if BlackRock is going to jump in, trust me, the whole world is going to jump in. The whole world. Because BlackRock actually have interest all over the world in companies and everything. So the future is bright, and we are here in bear markets, we are here in bull markets, and we are going to build the future.
Wow, this is like a lot to digest. But guys, if you're listening and you got caught away somehow along the way, what Anton and Ade are saying here is, when you look at crypto in this way as an asset, and also as an environment where you can build a business around it. So, like in their investors and their businesses who are into the crypto industry, because I did mention MicroStrategy, he has built a business, from Bitcoin, an asset, and he's using Bitcoin as a way to hedge against inflation, something like that. And his investors believe in the future of Bitcoin, and they, as a result of that, they believe in him. Now, BlackRock is a hedge fund, one of the biggest hedge fund in the world, that is interested into cryptocurrency, and they have filed for a Bitcoin ETF, meaning they want to offer Bitcoin to their investors, like those who invest in like for long term or for their future, for like retirement. They want to offer Bitcoin to them to buy and hold for let's say 10 years, 20 years, 20 years. So this is an environment where anyone, be it a business, an entrepreneur, an individual who just want to buy an asset and keep for let's say 5 years, 20 years, you can get into the space. So I think it is really amazing to see that just one thing, Bitcoin or the Bitcoin ecosystem or the Bitcoin technology has been able to onboard so many different industries who come together doing their own stuff, and that's where we see NFTs, Web3, all this stuff coming on board, because Bitcoin, it was the first that paved the way. So these guys are trying to make you guys understand that this is how you on board, be it a business, be it investors, be an investor, or be it maybe someone who just want to learn about what is going on. So it is something that we shouldn't look at and think that maybe it's not going to be here for a long time, because Anton mentioned that last, let's say, years back, it was just like, okay, but now it's like this is real. So I think to an extent, I'm now able to see that like the future of crypto is not just only about Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin is there as the leader, but there's so much more when it comes to the ecosystem in general. So that's how what I digested. from this, whole explanation that you guys have been, giving here today. Now let's go to the news. We know that their news events are very important in cryptocurrency, and recently we heard about Sam Bankman-Fried, his case and all the stuff going on there. Of course, guys, before we go to that, we want you guys to understand that, or maybe Anton can explain, or maybe Adil can explain more about Sam Bankman-Fried, what he did, and where we are right now. But Sam Bankman-Fried is not Bitcoin. He has no relationship with Bitcoin. He's just one of those people who want to destroy the industry. He has created a bad image in the industry, and right now he's dealing with the judicial system in the United States. So Anton, maybe you want to take this right now, like the recent event with Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah. Yeah, so happy to take that on and kind of share my thoughts and also explain to the audience who might be listening about what's happening there. So the reason why I think it's important that we address it is because as a crypto exchange were the biggest superstars of the last crypto bull run. So from 2019 until 2022, November, until it all imploded. This Sam Bankman-Fried was the Messiah. He's going to save the world, and he's going to do that with FTX, which is his crypto exchange. This was the narrative, and this was the story that we were being sold, that the politicians were buying into this story, where the whole ecosystem and mainstream was buying into this story, how we have this amazing genius who is going to reshape the society, for the better, with FTX, which is his crypto exchange. And what's here unfortunate actually is because that was such a strong narrative and such a strong story. But now after the investigation and the trial and the conclusion by the jury, it turned out he was basically a scammer, which cannot be explained in any other way actually. So literally what he did is he stole the deposits from his retail clients, gave it to his partner company, Alameda Research, which was also a hedge fund, a market maker, crypto market maker, and Alameda Research lost 12 billion pretty much. And I think it's very important that we address, what happened there, that we raise awareness. What were the problems? The problems were in the people who did it, obviously, right? But when we talk about mitigating the risks, many times we can reflect, well, could we have prevented that? Could we have prevented a CEO or a founder of a crypto exchange from stealing billions of dollars of client deposits? And the answer is yes. We could have done that with a DeFi solution, with a decentralized finance solution, where the client's assets are clearly segregated from the exchange where the trading happens. Because if these two things are put together, then the exchange never has possession of the client's asset. It just matches the trades, but it cannot do anything with the client's assets. So if I would have to kind of wrap up this story and give my opinion, it's great that this story is completed. So we can put this embarrassment behind us. The legal system and the jury and the judge have done its job. Now Sam Bankman-Fried, will deal with the consequences, and looking forward to the bright future. And it's in a clear segregation between the exchange where the trading happens and the custody of the client's assets. And we can achieve that very easily with decentralized finance solutions. So this is kind of how I would wrap it up. And hopefully we as an industry will learn on this and will not repeat the same mistakes again in a couple of years.
Yeah, Adi, what do you think about that? What's your thoughts?
I believe Anton explained it beautiful, actually, like beautifully what happened, right? So I would love to talk about the consequences. So FTX invested in a lot of projects, right? They were an exchange, they were earning millions of dollars, and they invested in a lot of projects. And sadly, one of the greatest projects of crypto industry is Solana, right?
Solana,
And
yeah.
they were heavily invested in Solana. And I'm talking about Solana because I'm just giving an example that what happened after FTX debacle, right? So Solana is a beautiful exchange. Around 2,000 developers are working on that blockchain, Solana blockchain, right? So they were trading around $40, $45, $50 per coin. And when FTX happened, they eventually dumped towards $10 and $8. Everybody thought that this blockchain is going to end. But that's the beauty of blockchain. Blockchains uh, cannot be closed. They are going to operate, and they try to get better, to do better with time. And those developers that I'm talking about, 1,500, 200, 2,000 developers, they work on the exchange. They like solve all the problems. And like yesterday, they done $40 back in prices. So I'm talking about price because human psychology runs with the price moment, right? So talking about FTX, it's all about human error. Human error. This is why we do not need centralized exchanges. This is why we need decentralized exchanges. This is why we need self custody wallets. We need cold wallets. We need to take custody of our assets. So if there is some kind of human error, you shouldn't be getting affected because of that. So this is why I believe that we need to talk about decentralized finance. We need to talk about decentralized exchanges. We need to educate people like me, people like Anton. And there are some amazing people out there who are like spreading Web3 decentralized education every single day, because centralized exchanges are just like banks. You do not have custody of your assets. So if they go bankrupt, you are going bankrupt basically. Your assets are like vanishing. So centralized exchanges are just like banks. Okay, some centralized exchanges are doing good, but the human error is there. The blockchains are built to counter human error, right? So this is why we should be talking more about decentralized exchanges. Some decentralized exchanges are doing quality stuff, just like Uniswap, DYDX, and we need to talk about self-custody wallets. This is the future, because Web3 is something that we are going to interact with different apps using our wallet. So make sure to like set up a good wallet. You do not need username. You do not need passwords. You just need your wallet, right? So let's educate people on decentralized finance and decentralized exchanges.
Yeah, I think DeFi. Well, we always say DeFi is the future, but to be realistic, I would say that banks, centralized exchanges and DeFi are gonna somehow coexist together, because I think they have their own roles to play depending on your knowledge in crypto. There are people who their knowledge in crypto will not permit them to actually use DeFi, because DeFi right now is not easy. Like, it's not, the space is not. I think it's so complicated. Most of the interface is not that easy to use, and of course, is the future. But I think right now, most people like me, I onboard crypto through centralized exchange, and as I came to understand more about the industry, I was like, wow, DeFi is where I should be. So I think centralized exchanges or banks or other platforms are going to help make people come into crypto. And when they study more about the technology, they'll understand that DeFi. So I think DeFi will explain itself when someone is already in the industry. So this is my thought about how I see the future in terms of DeFi and centralized exchanges. Now, looking at adoption, I know you've talked about BlackRock, ETF, but there are other big players in the industry like PayPal, Mastercard, Visa, where we have seen awesome partnerships. Where do you think crypto adoption is going to be, let's say, the next 5 years, in terms of these other financial institutions integrating the blockchain into their system, be it Solana, like what Mastercard did with Solana, the partnership, or maybe FIFA partnering with Algorand. So where do you still see this 5 years to come? Anyone can take it, like Adil, or yeah, Adil, let's go with you.
Yeah, man. So I'm not sure about 5 years because in 2018 we would have thought that everything is going to change in 2023, but still we are like fighting for everything, right? So I'm not sure about 5 years, but yeah, what I can see, because I'm working with different industries, so I'm going to talk the real facts, right? So a lot of supply chain companies, a lot of shipping companies, I'm talking about real use cases. A lot of shipping companies, a lot of like cargo companies, they have started using different cryptocurrencies for their transactions, and they are hiring different lawyers and different like audit firms to like give this thing a proper legal way, right? So I seriously believe it's going to take time. It's going to take time. A Bitcoin ETF is going to push people to use Bitcoin and cryptos in their businesses, right? Those people are not already using it. So talking about me, talking about other people like who are working in this industry, they are already using it. But the problem is with legalizing everything. The problems is regulations. So let's talk about nations, because when we talk about adoption, we are talking about population, right? So 1.4 billion people are living in China and 1.45 billion people are living in India. And China right now is not like bullish on cryptos. They are experimenting a lot of stuff through Hong Kong, but they like I think they are not going to do it in a very fast way, in a pace, right? And on the other hand, India is putting 30% taxes on crypto incomes and everything, right? So talking about adoption, I seriously believe this is going to take a few years more, maybe like 7 years, maybe like 10 years, maybe like 15 years. But you you were saying that it's going like it's taking a way longer. Okay, so let's talk about banks. I was born in 1995, and I have seen some banks using registers, using pen and pencil for their records, right? So it took them decades, like 2 decades, 3 decades, to move towards softwares, to move towards like the latest technology. And this is the exactly what's going to happen with like Web 2 and Web 3. We like payments are going to be moved towards like through NFTs and through cryptos. Yeah, but it's going to take some time because it's human psychology. We do not accept the modern technology in a fast way. So people were against the use of calculators, right? So yeah, people were actually okay. So bankers were against the use of softwares. I'm talking about 70s. I'm talking about 80s, right? So the thing is, this is going to take some time. But the best thing about crypto, the best thing about Web3 is you have freedom. You have control over your assets. You have control of your assets. Your assets can be in your custody through your wallets and everything. And I seriously believe, like in my perspective, 2030, like 7 years from now, we are going to see a huge change, step by step, but it's going to take some years.
Wow. Anything to add there, Anton?
Yeah. So yeah, first I want to say that Adil said actually something extremely profound and visionary, in a sense that many times regulation is good, but it's an obstacle if you want to grow very fast, and achieve big goals, because regulation means a lot of rules that don't allow you to innovate, that don't allow you to do things that's the most efficient for the user, for the client, or what you think is the most user efficient and user friendly. So, and also we can wonder today, the fact that Bitcoin or crypto industry is largely unregulated. Is this a feature of our industry, or is this a problem of our industry? And when you actually think about it a little bit, you realize actually that's the feature. We managed to grow so fast and so quickly because it was a largely unregulated business opportunities. I don't mean illegal. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying it's unregulated in a sense. There was some parts of regulations, but it was not highly regulated, like running a bank, for instance. And this was a very profound statement, actually, that Adil mentioned. And in that context, I will tell you, I mean, the two companies that, so far did the most to onboard crypto users is actually Binance, largely Binance, and then Coinbase, which for many, many years, I mean, they're not regulated exchanges. I think a lot of people know it. It's not a regulated exchange like you have regulated stock exchange in the US. So they, as an unregulated companies, managed to onboard many, many users so fast. And if I have to look in the future, I would again agree what Adil said, is I think the opportunity to onboard the mainstream is actually largely within the Web3, let's call it like that, Web3 domain, where we talk about royalties, when we talk about NFTs, when we talk about famous brands, issuing their collections. So everything where you actually can innovate, try out things, move fast very quickly when you find something that strikes well with the users, and then push that very strongly. So I would bet my money more on the, let's say, I will bet my opportunities more on the Web3 space, unregulated, so more in the domain of brands and mainstream, than in something highly, highly regulated like a crypto bank or a regulated crypto broker dealer. So that's how I see it.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
add 2 cents here. I want to add two
Okay.
cents here. Okay, so I highly believe that we won't be here if we have like started using regulatory measures from the day one. We won't be here, right? But now we surely need some kind of regulations because we are looking forward to billions of users now. But again, I highly believe because a lot of companies, a lot of like big institutes, they wouldn't let it happen. Like if we were like looking towards regulations from the day when I'm talking about in 2009, right? So there are a lot of haters, but yeah, gladly we made it here without them.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Web3 DAOs, are the future. I think like the businesses. I mean, the real ones, not the ones that are out there to to like steal people's money. People who are building real businesses right now in this space, like Web3 NFT DAOs. I think they are gonna be one of the leaders in the future when it comes to onboarding people into cryptocurrency, and also building infrastructures that can help people really build real wealth for their future. You have your money in an asset. You know that with this protocol, if say you trust, like say you are part of a DAO, the protocol execute itself, the blockchain, the codes, like the mathematics behind the organization, or behind the code that is helping the organization run. That means the blockchain that the organization is run on. I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but I just want people to understand that DAOs, and also Web3 is going to be a way that you can freely interact with platforms without trusting this, like what we do right now. We trust the banks, we trust the third parties, but with DAO, with NFT, with Web3, you're gonna trust yourself and the platform that you are interacting with. So I think to an extent, like the Swiss DAO, the next 5 years, 10 years is gonna be something really big. And also looking at experiences, because I know, like Anton, you are able to work on this project right now, the Swiss DAO, and other stuff that you are doing out there in Dubai, and also Adi, I know you are like, you have established yourself as well in this space, but it wasn't like this before. It wasn't always like this. You have gone through some ups and downs. Maybe like something happened along the way, and you're like, wow, despite the challenges that I face in this industry, I still believe this is where I have to build something for myself, my family, my generation to come. So, Anton, do you have some ups and downs you want to share to encourage someone out there who is like, okay, this is not my space. I've lost a lot of money investing, or I trust that FTX and I lost my money in FTX, or I trusted one platform and they took my money away. What would you say to that person right now who is listening to you?
Yeah. So first to say is when I talk to people, I have a very different conversation where I talk to you and Adil than when I talk to somebody who is for the first time approaching the crypto industry, because the three of us can speak openly. We can say how hard it is, how difficult it is to build a business, how it's the ups and downs and the bear markets are very, very challenging, and it takes a long time to build anything that's solid. So we can speak openly and freely, But when you talk to newcomers, somebody who is for the first time approaching the crypto industry, the biggest asset or the biggest uh, uh, benefit that I have when I talk to a newcomer is their trust. So do they trust me when I actually tell them this is an amazing opportunity and that this is one of going to be the key pillars of our society in the future? And trust is very visual. Trust is very optical because, one day you have trust, like Sam Bankman-Fried with FTX, and the next day you don't have it, right? So trust is something that takes a long time for you to build it, actually. But this is why humans accept a new technology, why accept a new person, why accept a new movement is because of trust, which it takes you a long time to build, actually. And in that context, I obviously, with the person who is coming in for the first time, I need to have a very clear narrative and a clear message. What is the upside for them? And also, if they have any concerns and any risks, or they think there's any risks, I have to be fully transparent with them. I fully have to tell them how it is. But not, saying we have a crypto exchange, FTX, and Sam Bankman-Fried who steals all of your money. I need to talk about what now solutions we have in place and what kind of products we have in place, so we never repeat those mistakes again. So how do we build trust and maintain and grow that trust? And how do we actually then create products and solutions where we mitigate the risks for the newcomers and for the mainstream that needs to be onboarded in billions for the next couple of years?
Wow. You want to add to that? Add something to that, Adi? How will you approach it? What are the ways you want to, communicate this to someone out there based on your own personal experience?
Yeah, so everything was cool. Like when we thought about Bitcoin, traded Bitcoin on exchanges till 2015, everything was cool. Everyone was looking at these cryptocurrencies at payment solutions, and there were payment solutions, right? But we didn't thought of NFTs, we didn't thought of dApps, DeFi protocols, decentralized exchanges, NFT markets, NFTs, right? But the things were there. The whole thought was deflationary models, investing into deflationary models, having your income, having your assets in deflationary models, right? Because even the strongest currency in the world, which is US dollar, it's losing its power every single year, right? So I seriously believe in 2017 everything changed with the ICOs, with smart contracts. Ethereum played the biggest role, to be very honest. Ethereum played the biggest role. I seriously think the CryptoKitties, if I remember right, CryptoKitties was the first biggest hit in NFTs. After that, the biggest hit was CryptoPunks, and after that, Bored Ape Yacht Club. Right now, we have the Gods, Youths, and a lot of like Solana collections of Solana and Ethereum. But those NFT collections actually bring millions of people into the industry. The overall the overall concept of transacting value, transacting your asset, your art, your music, and everything, it attracted a lot of people because, okay, let's talk about real estate tokenization. Why people are interested into this? Because of the same reason that a lot of people cannot buy their own apartments, but they want to invest in real estate, right? So tokenizing assets and everything, that's what changed everything in 2017. So I seriously believe after Bitcoin, Ethereum brought the smart contract and not the concept, but smart contract into the real life. That was the biggest game changing point for the industry. And on that smart contract, everything built on those smart contracts, decentralized exchanges. Smart contracts are helping NFTs. Smart contracts are helping NFT marketplaces. Smart contracts are helping like crypto wallets. Smart contracts are helping decentralized autonomous organizations. And talking about DAOs, right now we are seeing at a smaller scale, right? Just like we had Bitcoin at $10, we had Bitcoin at $5. So talking about Swiss DAO, they are like a startup, or like they are trying to get to that audience. But we, like Web3 doers, we imagine a future where the government level decisions are going to be made through DAOs, because people want to be part of decision making. People want to be part of decision making of every company. The share, just like the board of governors of a company. Let's talk about Apple. The board of governors of Apple try to make decisions, right? But the problem is only 20 to 30 top shareholders are going to vote, right? But here, every single holder, if you got like even some tokens or coins, you can vote. You can vote on a decision. You can vote in favor. You can vote against it. So it's all about inclusivity, right? It's all about making people feel that they are part of the process, and that's why we are here. I don't hate the traditional ways, but I feel good in Web3 because it's more community focused, because it's more user centric. This is all about Web3, and I seriously, I'm going to mention again that smart contracts change everything.
Yeah, smart contract change everything because it gives you the opportunity to like interact and still keep your security. Like it give everyone out their security, and also smart contract. I think like the reason why I'm trying to explain this is because I think most people who listen to well, part of my like on my platform will not understand what a smart contract is, but what Adil is trying to say about smart contract is smart contract gives you the opportunity, or it gives developers the opportunity to build systems where you can partake in big organizations. You can your voice can be heard. Investing in that organization. So I think long term, this industry is gonna be one of the top in the financial space. I think crypto is gonna really change lives of so many people out there. You mentioned Africa, Asia. I think these areas, are areas where they are the most unbanked people. They live in these areas, especially where I come from. I was born in Africa. I grew up in Africa, and I to have to own a bank account in Africa is like it's like winning the jackpot. You become so special when you own a bank account. And to even own one, like recently, one guy went to create an account, and they told him that he should come like 5 days after to get the account number. So you create an account today, and they tell you to come 5 days after to get the account number. But with a crypto wallet, you create the wallet without even paying anything, nothing. Just how you need just your mobile phone, an internet connection, and voila, you have your wallet, and someone can transfer money to you, and you can spend the money somewhere. So I think this is really something that people who are living in these areas, they are going to benefit a lot. And having you guys here is a way forward to educate people on this industry, on this space, how they can be part of all this. Now, looking at the crypto industry, we know that there are institutional, not only the crypto industry, the financial space. We have retail and institutional investors. And you guys mentioned BlackRock, and I also hear people mention Wall Street, right? Is BlackRock gonna bring Wall Street, or BlackRock gonna bring retail investors? Like now, I'm trying to bring the difference between a retail and institutional investor. What do you guys think? Like, how is BlackRock customers different from Wall Street customers? Does that make sense?
I want to answer this.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing. BlackRock owns 89% of S&P 500. So
Wow.
let me just say, BlackRock is the Wall Street. Is that simple? Is that
Yeah,
understandable?
yeah, yeah.
So S&P 500 are 500 top companies, top 500 companies in the world, right? Including Apple, Samsung, and everything, right? So as BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, they are a combined group. They are not three different companies. They are controlled by the same administration, and they own 89% of S&P 500. That's simple. And then please continue, brother.
Wow. I think that says it. Anton, you want to add
So
something to
yeah,
that?
yeah. So Adil actually said the main point. Actually, so BlackRock is Wall Street, or Wall Street is BlackRock, however you want to take it. I think maybe to kind of go a bit deeper, actually, and to say like the difference between a professional institutional investor in retail is both education and access. And so to explain this very quickly, institutional investors are and professional investors are extremely educated about financial products, unlike, for instance, retail investors. The retail investors, they're not doing this for a living. That's not their day job to, look at financial products. So they're less, on average, less educated than professional institutional investors. But there's a very big difference when it comes to access of new products. So a retail investor can download a crypto app, onboard, put in their credit card number, and buy some crypto. Today, with many apps, it's as simple as that. On the other side, with professional institutional investors, they have something called an investment mandate. And that investment mandate very clearly specifies into what kind of products they're allowed to invest, and with what kind of counterparties they're allowed to invest with. So a professional institutional investor, let's say a pension fund, is not allowed to open an account with Coinbase and buy Bitcoin. But they are allowed to have an account with Goldman Sachs and purchase BlackRock ETF through that Goldman Sachs trading account. And this is what I mean, actually, the big difference, like operational, like, because Adil said the key thing. You have Wall Street with BlackRock, that's it. But the difference is then, like, between retail and professional, is retail is less educated, professional is more educated. But counterintuitively, retail has more access to, in an easy way to buy crypto today if they want, really. And professional investors, by their investment mandate, don't have a lot of freedom what they want to do. And that's why the Bitcoin ETF is so important, because, and also just to mention, the reason why BlackRock Bitcoin ETF is going to be so important, because BlackRock is famous for their distribution, meaning they have hundreds of thousands of advisors running around pitching their products to everyone you can imagine, getting the fee if they sell the product. And this is what BlackRock is famous for, is because they have this network of advisors who sell their products to everyone. And that's why BlackRock is so important. You mentioned on some other asset managers. They're also, but BlackRock is the king. Let's say it like that. And Adil said everything with the first sentence. So I leave it at that.
Yeah, and
Wow.
just for our listeners, crypto market is standing around 1.3 trillion. I haven't like checked the updated numbers, but we are talking about BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Fidelity. These four to five institutions are managing around $20 trillion in assets. So this is why those big investors are very important for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. JP Morgan, Fidelity, BlackRock. So we are talking about like 10x of like 15x of what like crypto market cap is right now. So in 2021, when Bitcoin touched 65,000, 67,000, we were standing around the max of $3 trillion, right? So yeah, glad you opened it, right? So the thing is, retail investors are very helpful, but the big money is going to take us to the future, to the new levels.
Okay, yeah. We are now at 1.29 trillion. Yeah. And Bitcoin is up a little bit. Yeah, I think this is I think I've learned a lot about this in particular. You know, the way you guys explain it, it makes it so simple for anyone out there to understand. And what I really enjoy about all this is that when you understand so much about what, like where you are, like be it a business or be it an investment, it helps you navigate properly in the space and avoid making big mistakes that can actually discourage you not to invest or make you feel as if the space is not good for you. Because when I look at my experience on boarding crypto, getting information out there, you know, I I was exposed to bad, platforms that cost me a lot of money. I lost a lot of money, and it wasn't because of crypto. Crypto was not the reason. It was because of my knowledge, my education, and I caught that I paid my fees. I paid fees to learn or to take me where I am today, and I'm able to, have a program like this to bring you people like you to come and talk about crypto or the entire industry. And before we go, maybe like if say you want to connect with Adil, this is his Miss Anton. Yeah, Anton, go on LinkedIn. His platform on LinkedIn. Connect with him on LinkedIn. And if so, you want to connect with Adi also, this is him. He's streaming live. You can see we are we are seeing ourselves on his LinkedIn. But guys, this is where you find this is how you connect with these guys on LinkedIn. They post educational content every now and then. Like whenever I like wake up in the morning, I look at LinkedIn, I will see Anton, I will see Adil, they always pop up, and I try to go through the content to understand. And because I create I have a community that I create content, I do more of technical analysis. So I try to also, add some fundamentals, because I think understanding the overall picture in the industry gives you more security, than only looking at the charts, what is going on in the chart. You can, make more informed decisions, looking at that. Now, before we go, do you want to add something more, Anton? Is there something more you want to add? Like maybe the Swiss DAO, if say like talks a little bit about it so that people can, if there's something more about that.
Yeah, so I mean, for end, I'll just be very short. First, thank you very much, my friend, for inviting me. I think it was an awesome discussion, and Adil is also a king, really smart. It was a profound discussion, so I really enjoyed it. Look for Swiss Asset DAO. We're also building a community. If people wanna know more about it, I think they can, on which site? Here is the website. You can go there and learn more about it. It's an initiative coming out of Switzerland to connect DAOs and real-world assets, hence the name Swiss Asset DAO. And it was a pleasure today to be on your show, on your podcast. I think you really did an amazing work today. And Adil, it was a pleasure. And let's get together on a shisha and some karakti and enjoy and continue the discussion. And also, maybe all three of us somehow we find each other one day. So that's it from me.
Yeah,
Yeah, Adi?
thank you so much for like inviting us on this podcast, brother. Anton is very like energetic. I have seen his videos in different events in Dubai, and he got some amazing energy into the space. And I love the work you are doing, brother. And yeah, I'm actually trying to build a tribe around my views, because I seriously believe there are a lot of people who are not spreading the actual education, right? So I'm trying to educate people because this is the future. I seriously want people to like invest in deflationary assets, not in inflationary assets, because money is not easy to earn. It's very hard to earn, right? So I seriously believe if you want to invest, if you want to save, the best thing you can save is in deflationary assets. And top deflationary assets, the gold is the top deflationary assets for like decades, right? But Bitcoin is outshining every other asset class. So that's why I'm posting a lot of stuff and I'm trying to educate people. This is all about me. Thank you so much, guys.
Before you go, Adi, like there's a question I forgot to mention. Like the audience, guys. Sorry, I almost go without talking about you guys. I appreciate you guys to be part of this show as well. It's a question here for you, Adil. That after listening to Adil, I would like to know what kind of business or businesses can one build around Bitcoin. I don't know. Do you want to answer that, Adil?
Yeah, I want to answer that. I want to answer that. So the thing is, this industry is too big now, right? Bitcoin is a $700 billion asset. So in order to build some business around Bitcoin, things are very different as compared to 2013 and now, as compared to 2017 and now. You got you need to have the right people with you. You need to have some $1 million investment with you. You need to have some kind of VCs around your whole idea, right? So the best businesses to build on Bitcoin chain right now, they can be NFT collections, right? Because Bitcoin NFTs are a thing now. Because Bitcoin is not operating on 7 to 10 TPS anymore. There are layer 2 networks on Bitcoin, like Bitcoin Lightning, right? So we are not going to face congestion on Bitcoin anymore, because millions of people are going to use Bitcoin Lightning in the future. And yeah, on Bitcoin Lightning, there are going to be a lot of decentralized exchanges, a lot of deep dApps and DeFi protocols, and also the best thing, there are going to be Web3 apps, social apps, just like Facebook, just like LinkedIn, just like YouTube, on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, right? So you need to select the right blockchain for you. And I seriously believe it's not easy to build a project like this right now, because the market is very saturated. There are thousands of projects right now under development all around the world.
There's another question here from Pernilla again. How do you think this industry can impact businesses in Africa? Well, the question keep popping now. You want to take that? Adil, you want to take that, or Anton? Adil.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to take that. So Africa actually got the most unbanked people around the world. This continent, this continent got the most unbanked people around the world. And I seriously believe that this continent got the most corrupt governments around the world. I'm being very straight. I'm being very straight right now, right? So the thing is, Nigerians are leading in Web3 service providing industry, because they believe in this. So they can build a lot of businesses around this. They can build their local exchanges, because Kenya, Nigeria, and other countries in Africa, they love to trade in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, through cryptos. So the best business right now to build in Africa is centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges. So centralized exchanges got like very smooth user interfaces and everything, but also you can work on decentralized exchanges. And also, I seriously believe the next big thing is Web3 social media apps, built on Bitcoin, built on Solana, built on Aptos, built on Ethereum. So for that kind of app, you can start with your friends. Okay, so talking about Facebook, Facebook was not started with millions of dollars, right? Facebook was started in a university, right? So these friends made Facebook. So if you want to start from the square, so this is the perfect way. I'm seriously very bullish on Web3 social apps.
Wow, wow, wow. All right, guys. I think we have gotten enough questions already, and we have come to the end of this video or of this podcast. I see Adiolo, all of you guys, you are the best crypto analysts. Thanks so much. Adiolo, all of you who have been part of this podcast. You guys are amazing. Thanks for being part of this podcast. Thanks so much, Anton. Should I say I'm honored to have you here, same Adil on my platform, and I'm looking forward to keep enjoying your content. When I wake up, the first thing I see is either you or Adil on my timeline. So I'm beginning to have you guys as it's like you guys hacked my LinkedIn. So thanks for being part of it. See you next
Thank
time.
you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend to everyone.
All right. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.